Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session 114. Man, we are getting on. We're running a little bit behind schedule tonight due to my cooking failures. So, we're going to go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of a recap. Previously, on the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party had taken a break from their exploration and delving of Undermountain after having succeeded in finding the next piece of Ezrah's artifact, the Halaster. Their R&R split the party, with Bones staying in the Lost levels with the Skull Takers, and the rest of the party venturing topside. Their first day of rest was relatively simple and straightforward, but on the second day, they were summoned before the Open Lord of Waterdeep, and their recent deeds were proclaimed to a public audience. The party had begun to make real waves within the city, and it was anybody's guess what would come of it. But, with no other recourse, the party just continued with their business. Ashes queried with the Guild of Apothecaries and Physicians about more training, and found that he would have little in the way of regulatory hurdles, but that it would cost a hefty chunk of money to achieve his goals, a chunk he couldn't quite afford at the moment. He then spent some time working with the Grey Hands in a rather strange and chaotic afternoon that he, for some reason, couldn't remember the specific details of. And then on the evening of the 14th, Ashes visited the House of the Moon, and his work with Taverin continued with another grueling session of training along with the Warden of the Moon. Matashtai spent time practicing his speech and persuasion with his new tutor, the Masked Man, before visiting the city guard in an attempt to offer his services to them. At the North Ward Barracks, he met with Mandius, the Griffin rider that the party had met a few times previously. And Mandius offered Matashtai an opportunity to teach some fledgling members of the Griffin Cavalry the basics of hand-to-hand combat. Matashtai gladly accepted. Ezrah spent a portion of his day ordering scrolls from various makers throughout the city and continuing his research into Calabash's tome. The sorcerer made a bit of a breakthrough and obtained arcane knowledge from the book, but had no inkling as to how or why. Down in the 6th level of the dungeon, Bones spent the 14th crafting and assisting the Skull Takers in the creation of their new fungal garden, which went very smoothly thanks to the assistance of the Zorn moss-covered rock near stream. On the 15th, he visited with Willow along with Oz and Bigbeak, while Thresher and some of the other Skull Takers searched the wood for mushrooms. The visit was relatively pleasant and seemed to positively affect Willow's opinion of the party and of the Skull Takers. Back in Waterdeep, the rest of the party received a package thanking them for saving an individual's son, but no one in the party could remember who this individual might be. And so a bag of holding was gifted to the party for some reason, question mark, time, question mark.
Oops.
Ezrah then had a breakthrough in his research on the stone giants. Bishop Vithka of Ogma, one of the heads of the Font of Knowledge, became aware of Ezra's research and allowed the sorcerer to utilize a magical mirror that connected to the stone giants of Gravenhollow, a secret repository for knowledge hidden in the Underdark. Unfortunately, the keepers spoke almost in riddles, and Ezrah was only able to ask one question. Still, this opportunity afforded Ezrah a better chance than he had previously had at figuring out a way to handle the stone giants. Ezrah also made another breakthrough while working on Calabash's tome and discovered information about the 8th level of Undermountain, the Slither Swamp. In the meantime, Matashtai was taken to the peak-top eyrie of Mount Waterdeep by Mandius. There, the Halaster monk spent time training a group of fledglings with such success that he actually had some of the adults watching along with his lessons. After finishing at the eyrie, Matashtai received lessons of his own, taking himself one step closer towards his goals. Ashes spent his day visiting... wait, did you do that? You didn't do that twice. I might have put this in multiple locations. You did not do this today. You did this the previous day. Ashes spent his day at the Lifted Spirits. My bad. Attempting to get to know the staff better and assisting them with their various tasks around the tavern. The Were came to realize that the Lifted Spirits was a relatively well-oiled machine run by a group of fine people servicing a happy group of regulars. That evening, Ashes went back to the Temple of the Moon, where Ta'Veren awaited him. This time, the two used mirrors and glass panels to chase moonlight around a circular chamber beneath the top of the temple's tallest spire. The task was exhausting, but not as painfully tasking as the previous sessions. As they finished, Ta'Veren questioned Ashes about his plans, and specifically, about when he would publicly dedicate himself to Selûne, heavily implying that the Warden already thought Ashes was dedicated to the Night White Lady. Ashes was non-committal, and this seemed to trigger a reaction in Ta'Veren. Not one of annoyance or frustration, but one of finality. The Warden told Ashes that should he return to the House of the Moon unready to dedicate himself to the Moon Maiden, he would be killed. Ta'Veren also told him that should he resolve to dedicate himself and return, the two of them would fight beneath the moonlight. And again, Ta'Veren would kill him. And that is where we fade back into our scene. Lovebug, the potatoes should now be ready, so you can actually have dinner. I apologize for the wait.
Okay.
Be careful getting them out of the oven. Do not burn yourself. You burn yourself.
Degrees.
I just want you to know, if you burn yourself, it's not on me. You have been warned. Nope, you have been warned.
Shouldn't have messed up.
All right, so.
I like how the noise gate almost blocked Casey out
Oh
entirely.
my. Like I'm just talking to myself. All right.
Well, we can't afford no hospital trip.
So, we fade back in, actually still, well, I say still, on kind of in the wee hours of the morning of the 16th, as Ashes is making his way across the city back towards the Lifted Spirits. Ashes, do you take like a carriage or a coach or something like that, or are you trudging through the snow? Yeah?
No, I'm gonna garage. I'll take a silver.
While you are in this carriage, it's just kind of like jostling through the relatively empty, snow-filled streets of the City of Splendors. The chill cuts through the wood around you and just permeates everything. It's cold. It's pretty bitterly cold in Waterdeep at this point. And you just hear in your mind, you feel that connection and you hear in your mind, you just... What the hell? Okay, so... Is this a damned if we do, damned if we don't situation?
I mean, maybe. I think the way I'm looking at it, right? If dedication to Selûne is the right path,
which
then
questionable, right?
it's
Questionable.
Gonna be fine. I don't know. I've really told you a whole lot about my origins, but a brief summary would be.
I mean, in fairness, I've told you almost none of mine, so you don't have to. I mean, I'm listening.
I lived in El Terrell. I never really knew my mother, and my father left the scene pretty soon after. The streets weren't very kind, but I have reason to believe that it was Selune who let's just say delivered me from what was probably going to be a very poor, meager death. I was found by the order, taken to the forest, and trained.
So you chose the Moon's Kiss? You weren't born with this?
I was not.
Different times. Well, not always different times. Different peoples, different places, different times.
But what I'm getting at is, if it really was Selune's will for me to leave Elturel and to become what I am now, then it would make no sense for me to die at the hand of Taverin.
Sure, but the counter to that argument is if it wasn't Selune's will and this isn't the right path, we come back to this tower and you're dead. Well, I mean, no offense or anything like that. Maybe you can take him, but I don't. I mean,
can you imagine though, me taking out a warden?
Don't underestimate yourself. I don't think you're weaker, not significantly in any way, but
I don't know.
Whatever your strength, whatever your power, which I do feel, I'm with you for a reason. But the Wardens seem, general terms here, the Wardens seem to have that plus the blessings of a goddess.
Right. I mean, I'm not sure if this is the right choice. It feels like it is, and it might be unwise to make such a decision off of a feeling, but I feel...
Does this not seem sudden? Like, very sudden, like we were just hanging out and, alright, things are going well. Little rough on the training sessions, and then...
Oh yeah, it sucks.
Blah, 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 or die.
I mean, I get it. Lycans have a tendency to be, you know, dramatic or edgelordy. I get it. It's just kind of like...
She laughs in your head. She's just like taken aback, caught off guard by you just kind of like throwing your order under the bus.
Look, it's a predisposition
to drama.
It's kind of a thing.
Oh, don't mind the wares. They're just dramatic.
Yeah.
But shit.
I think I'm ready, and I don't know if there's a few things that I might be able to get out of this, and not to be selfish or anything, but I think, I don't know, maybe if I was more in line with Selune, then maybe even you and I could become, I don't know if closer is the word, but
more than friends.
in tuned.
Sure, there is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not holding back on you or anything like that. But there is a way that these things work. That the look, I don't have a lot of experience with it myself. I'm told I have a poor attitude, but the connection strengthens, and the stronger that connection, the more aligned our purpose of will, then the
Right.
more beneficial. More we
Also,
can aid each other.
Yeah. Also, that one night we spent in the moonlight, that felt like a good thing. Maybe that's another nudge in the right direction.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, did I know what I was doing? Hell no. That's put me back in there, I'll still won't. But I don't know. Fake it till we make it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
Right. Well, guess I better start psyching myself up to go fight Warden of the Temple of the Moon.
We continue conversation as you cross the city, eventually step out in front of the lifted spirits. And it's early enough in the morning, right, to where it's you've already had your 8 hours, right? Like
Okay,
you're
yeah.
arriving basically as the lifted spirits is
So
coming
we're doing
alive,
a
right? It's morning.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, so you're there in time to break your fast with Ashes, Ezrah, Matashtai, and in the meantime, let's journey down into Goblin Town on the 6th level of the dungeon.
We have a Goblin Town, unironically.
It is
Oh, Zach does.
right. Well, I mean, well, like he's hoarding it for himself.
I'm here, Mayor of Goblin Town.
Don't want to take that from him.
It is the 16th of Hammer. What's happening today in Bonesland?
I work on my thing.
This is I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but you would have received correspondence at this point from Ochotu confirming his communication with Ayatodin and schedule open, ingredients sound fine, ready and excited to do the next enchanting.
Wow, he's always so positive.
Well, he you pay him a lot and he gets to do a thing that he likes to do.
I do
And,
pay him a lot. Yeah, I do
you
pay him a
know,
lot.
It is what it is. So
Okay, well, I work on my thing until the end of the day.
and that's
The last
completion.
day.
Yeah. So is there a next stage of this journey for this new mysterious item that you are working on?
I don't know what that
We
means.
haven't described in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
I'm working with teeth.
I'm working with teeth. Okay.
Like human teeth, or
I don't work with humanoids unless they have cool powers. I
okay,
only
is it
work
cool
with teeth.
humanoid teeth?
No, they're big
Okay.
teeth.
Okay, sharp, or are we talking molars?
Both.
Ooh, combination
molars.
thereof. Okay.
Hmm.
Sharp molars. Nice. What the fuck? Gangle boy.
I'm making that big hammer grasp thing from Iron Blooded Orphans. Only for me, though.
Potato.
Look at your. Oh my god. Did you use any?
No, I'm not doing that.
Look at this potato.
Wow,
That
that's
does not look like a
well,
potato.
too much. That's you mean cheese?
Yeah, look at that cheese.
It's
Look at
a.
that cheese
They're
mountain.
very big potatoes. One of them would have been enough for 2 people.
There's so much there.
do
There's so much cheese, I
appreciate
couldn't
a
tell where
giant
the
pile of
potato
cheese.
began or ended.
Look, you gotta have a grassy top of cheese. I've got a good lawn of cheese.
That's its
All
hair.
right,
Never
and
heard
then-
cheese referred to as grassy top.
throughout the day, and like, you know, whenever I'm gonna take a break or whatever, I go grab Greer. I say, hey Greer, let's go check out this little library.
Ah, okay, all right, boss. Here, let me just get my staff real quick. And he stumbles over, grabs his staff, and walks with you. As you guys are traveling over to the old dwarven library, there's not exactly like what's the terminology I want to use here? Not a quiet, calm walker. None of the goblins really are, but Greer especially. He is every few steps like jumping and yelling like "Hiya!" and like throwing a kick or a punch, or he's trying to do this thing where he like almost pole vaults up off of his staff and kicks, right?
And I look at him and I say, hey, you know Matt can do that.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I want to be more like Matt.
You should talk to him about it next time he's down here.
I've been
got-
practicing.
Monk
Greer
Gobbo.
Greer is now a level 1 monk.
Hell
well-
yeah.
Well, goblin level 1 monk.
So like
He has-
quarter level monk.
Yeah, it's like how CR can be quartered.
Yeah, he's got some monk influence.
Yeah, he's decided he wants to be a monk, so
Yeah, exactly.
is.
He just is.
He's the goblin, and he made his decision. So he's in the class now.
okay. All right, well, we get over there, I suppose, once we get over there.
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, you can't read Dwarf, right?
No,
Can you read Common?
yeah. It's like, trade tongue, but with some bigger words.
Okay.
Like a bunch of
Trade
5-letter
tongue.
words.
Yeah. Can you read Goblin?
Yeah.
I don't know if Goblin's written or is just spoken.
Well, no, we got writing. It's combination of letters and pictures.
Okay. All right, as we're walking, then I'll call one of the goblins. And ask him to go get me something to write with. Some
Greer will be
paper.
like, oh, I got some.
Okay,
has-
never
has like
mind.
a
You,
little-
you go back
He
to
has
what
like a
you're
little
doing.
satchel, right? Because Greer is also your accountant, I believe.
Yes, he's my accountant.
Or
'cause
well,
Matt
not your
also
accountant,
used
but the Skull
calligraphy.
Taker's accountant. He is a
No.
he is
He's
a
specifically my accountant, and he should be
monk.
working on taxes.
oh
So-
well. So tax evasion in the Skull Takers, gotcha.
Anyway, so when we get there, I will write the Dwarven alphabet and the equivalent in, I don't know, whatever's fucking easier for him.
Okay.
So like he can like look at that and like try and decipher stuff while we hang out and I look around.
Alright, that sounds good. Right. Cool. All right. So, what is your goal? So Greer will set about being like, okay, you just want me to like study this, boss?
I mean, yeah. And if you see anything written in not dwarf that looks cool, you could point it out.
Okay. So you do like the primary, like he's reading through things, and you're like, oh, this dwarf. Roll me an investigation check.
Well, when I invited him, I thought he spoke Dwarven or could read Dwarven, or this stuff was not in all Dwarven, but it's fine. I rolled a 2.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
You
I'm not a researcher.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like there you start to like while Greer is getting the basics down, right? You start to look through some of these scrolls and ancient like super old tomes. A lot of these things they're doing that whole kind of like ancient literature that if you touch it, it will disintegrate thing. But not all of it, right? There's some stuff that can actually be flitted through here with care. But as you're going through, Bones isn't a researcher. You'd rather be doing something else, so you kind of get a little like, a little bored, a little like not super invested in finding things.
Yeah, halfway through, I'm like, hey, you want to go see if we can jump over the pit?
Oh, that sounds really cool!
Yeah, let's go do that.
As you're leaving, right, Greer is like, oh, look, I think that section's not dwarvish. I can look through that later, though. Let's go to the pit!
Okay, let's do it. So, we just spend the rest of the day jumping over a pit.
And I mean, you get distracted by other skull takers, other little mini adventures happen, and it's a fun time. So you are influencing Greer towards this path, but the dice roll means you haven't really made like a lot of success or headway in that direction. Basically.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, cool.
And then at the end of the night, I will go and bag up 100 platinum.
Bag up. Bag up.
Yeah, like a bag, like a
Wacky.
secondary bag. There's got to be some secondary bags around here somewhere.
The skull takers actually have a plethora. You don't know where they got them all. In point of fact, they have a plethora of like satchels and just bags, like leather bags, hemp bags, just like bladders, like monster bladders made into bags and things like that.
Yeah, y'all been taking
like
bags from people? Is that what's happening?
Crazy amount of bags in this place. All of them roughly head-sized.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, pick one that is not bloody on the inside and also does not have any holes.
A lot of them aren't really used, but there's plenty of holy ones, so yeah, that would be wise.
Okay. And then I put in 100 platinum and also fucking big ass sapphire and my item.
Big ass sapphire. All right. Sounds like plan. And
with instructions,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Do the needful.
Do the needful chest, and it will pop and be obtained by Ochotu on the morrow, who will carry out your instructions with aplomb. So I should note that Eotodin
and this
will get your item on
this next
on the 17th.
Yeah.
And I'll get it at the beginning of the 17th, so that will count as a workday.
Oh, sick.
So
the cost in both time and enchantment can be reduced by up to half. Okay, so and this sapphire counts as an item of sufficient power.
Yeah, let me double check the notes, the bone crafting rules. This is
a 500 gold sapphire.
This is a rare item, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the base time is 10 days. And this costs...
It says down here where I'm highlighting.
Yep. You need a 500er, and that will reduce it. And you're good to go.
Okay, so I'm good with 100 plat and my fucking or our gem. It's not my gem. Our gem.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. I cross everything off my list then.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Found a gas station with that many.
I'm unsure.
Shit.
People getting shot behind me. Sorry. Okay.
About to get shot.
Anything else for you?
No, I think that's about all I can do today. I'm just, messing around, trying to teach goblins Dwarvish.
Sounds like a plan. Okay. Back above ground in the City of Splendors, I need a wisdom saving throw from Ashes, Ezrah, and Matashtai.
Lord.
Well, the bag suddenly drives you crazy.
Fantastic.
I
I'm
like how I
going
rolled
to-
a 1 and I still didn't get a crit fail, but Ashes did better than me.
I'm going to
Fantastic.
use my reaction to gain advantage. Nope, okay, I'm good with 13.
It was
Wow.
a great start.
Wow.
I
what
have to flip over to a different scene so that people can see the horrible rolling.
What, can they
A
not see our
2,
rolls?
a 1, not when I'm in the only cams.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So Ashes rolled a 1, Ezra rolled a 2 and got a 1, and then Matashtai rolled a 13, tried to get advantage, and then rolled a 1. Holy
Great start,
shit!
boys.
Like
No, maybe
Hot
fighting Severin's not good this weekend. Maybe we can do this
fucking
next week.
damn. So okay. That was unexpected. Got to recenter myself. You are all gathered to break your fast in the Lifted Spirits, as is your custom as a group. While you are there, swap music. While you are there, a contingent of guards arrives. 5 guards, dressed warmly, and they come up to the entrance of the Lifted Spirits, and one of them is holding a little chest, and they kind of like knock on the door, and then one of them opens it, but they don't enter. They just stand there kind of like staring at you 3, waiting to be addressed.
Hello.
See how long we can stare at each other.
Can we help you?
Masters of Troll Skull Manor,
Indeed.
this is yours. And he gestures towards the individual holding the chest. And
I look
it's
at
not a big
Ashes.
chest. It's like a little wooden chest, right?
I still look at Ashes.
I'll
Walk up and take the chest.
I'll walk up and take the chest.
Okay, you
What
take it.
is this for?
How would he put that? He would say,
This is your downfall.
no, he would say, he would use specific verbiage that makes sense for Waterdeep. I'm just, he knows the words. Jeremy doesn't know the words as well, but he says basically, he says basically along the lines of like, may your road ahead be clear. Wardens.
I want specific. This is important. I need to do this immediately. While there's was still within the blast radius, I want to open it.
You open it and you see that there are a bunch of little plaques nestled in this velvet lined box, and they have, there's 4 of them. They have your names on them, and they all have etched in the plaque along with your names the title, Warden of the High Road.
Oh well, I'll close it and nod. Thank you.
They're like about face and they just walk. They're just gone. And you
Have
can
a good
see as
morning.
they're leaving, right? Like they're kind of like, some of them are, right? Some of them are they're like they're not running off, but they're hustling. They're like, okay, we did the thing. Fuck this, let's go. Right?
All
Let's
right,
get
I'll
the fuck
walk
out of
over
this
to the
cold.
table, put the chest on, flip it up. Also, Bones, I think somebody has something of yours. Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
Bones
there.
isn't here. It's just us three.
It freaks me out when you say shit like that because it makes me think someone's behind me, like you've seen something, and I haven't.
In your
Um,
house, just right
yes.
behind you.
Yeah, that kind of like action makes me think that that's what's going on.
Well, I mean, I'll like I said, I'll open the
Oh,
chest and
shit.
I'll like pull out. I guess I'll just lay on the table and
Yeah. So they're these little they're kind of like a dark they have a almost kind of like kite shield motif, right? In the shape that they are designed. And they are some sort of dark reddish wood, right? With a metal facing that is stamped onto the wood, and then there's just etching your name and the title on it. It's just and there's no note or anything like that. It's just like it's like a trophy. It's a physical proof of your title, your service to the
Like
city,
a diploma.
that type of thing. Right, yeah, it's something that you hang on the wall so that when people visit your abode, they go, ah, a warden of the high road. I myself am a warden of the, right? Like, it's, we all went to Harvard, right? Like,
tavern decorations.
Yeah.
all right.
Dine, you think you could find somewhere to mount these?
Sure. Are you sure you want them in here? You don't want them in your own space? I mean, this is your own space, but I mean, you're not worried? Okay, sure. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, no, not really.
Yeah, we'll find a spot for them.
You'll deal with people that mess with them. It's fine. We trust you.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
hi.
We know you're a dragon in disguise.
That's
We already got enough dragons in this campaign. We don't need more.
I didn't know that we knew that.
We've had dragons in this campaign? No, we haven't.
maybe
Yeah, we
we
have.
should have portraits done
One.
of all of us
One
to go
dragon.
above the plaques.
The green dragon on 4th.
Nope, we've had more dragons than that.
Yeah, I mean the bronze one,
That was not this campaign.
it's all this campaign.
Fair
No,
enough.
you're a different character.
But even then,
Doesn't
we
count.
still have at least one other dragon.
No, technically I am not a different character.
Oh, the fairy dragon.
No, I wouldn't even count the fairy dragon. I was
Okay.
I was counting Ezrah, Matashtai's dragon.
Oh, that's right. On his vision quest.
Yeah, the Vision Quest dragon, which maybe actually isn't a dragon. Maybe it was just
Say never
Matashtai
actually
being really
happened.
high the
Right?
entire
Yeah.
time.
Only
thought that
one
was-
person knows that.
For sure confirmed.
He ain't talking.
Been the lifted spirits. Okay, so that is the only excitement that happens this morning. Is there anything that you three want to discuss before your days begin?
All right. Ezra.
Yeah.
Matt. Come tomorrow morning when we meet before going back down to the dungeon.
Oh, we're going back? kid,
Or
I
the
kid.
day after,
I kid.
whenever we head back.
We're never
If I'm
going
not
back.
present, I will be at the Temple of the Moon in some shape, form, or fashion.
What's going
Fucking
on?
dead.
What do you mean?
I've been doing some training there, and it's getting a little intense. So I don't know. This is just I wanted to let you guys know if something happens. That's where I'll be.
What might happen, Ashes?
I don't know. Been thinking a lot, and
That's never good.
I know. You're right. But I might dedicate myself fully to Salune. And with that comes some trials, let's say.
Like communion?
You hear in your head, Ashes, you hear,
First communion.
don't you think you're being a little vague with them? They're like, you've been working and fighting with them for a while.
Right.
40 days?
I think it's like 65.
There's I'm going to duel one of the wardens of the temple.
Like duel?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. I slap on my like wrist thing that has all the cards. I'm like, whoosh.
Why?
Let's send him to the Shadow Realm.
I got my Exodia deck. It's gonna be great. I don't know. It feels like this might be the next step in me getting better. The entire reason I even came to Waterdeep in the first place was to become better. Just pretty much every hunter that comes from the forest goes out, does some shit, becomes better, comes back to raise the next generation of hunters. And this might be the next step.
Is this like to the death?
No, not at all.
You hear in your head, Zalar says, unclear. Very unclear.
No. I'll lie. I'll say.
Well, she's not saying unclear to you. She's saying she's unclear on on whether or not it's to the death.
Man made it very. I mean, he said in no uncertain terms. Now, if he were lying, maybe, but I don't think there's ever been a time he had. So, but the next time we go into the dungeon, I might have a bit of a higher purpose. And that's kind of exciting.
Or you might not be there.
No. It's look, this is just a precaution, just to make sure everybody's filled in.
So you're saying there's a chance?
And now all I just see is Jim Carrey.
Oh my god.
Well, if you think that's what's right for you, I wish you the best. Good luck.
Yeah.
Can we come watch or
I don't know.
cheer for you?
Huh.
Help?
I think this might be a private matter.
Zalara talks in your head and she says, well, he said like in the moonlight, I assume like at the top of the temple? I mean, he didn't give us any instructions. I don't know.
I don't either. I have no idea. Like, I guess I should have stuck around for like more questions, but I don't know, the way the conversation was going, it didn't seem like it was time to play 20 questions.
Sounds like you should have played 20 questions.
That's right. I wish I would have played at least 5 questions.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Be careful, I guess.
Oh yeah. You know me. When am I not careful?
Flashback,
jumping off a castle.
Ezra pulls out a parchment that just rolls out.
Out the door.
Oh.
Oh no.
Makes it to Neverwinter.
Yep.
That's. But
when is this trial?
it is tonight.
Zalara, again in your head, goes, well, technically he said just the next time you come back. It doesn't have to be tonight. We could postpone this.
No, I'm not sitting on this. I'm gonna be a nervous wreck. The longer I put this off, the worse it's gonna be.
Sure about that?
Well, yeah, about that specifically, yes.
Okay. Anything else?
I can give you a scroll that could potentially help if you need.
I don't know. Is that like a dual faux pas? Using an outside source like that? I'm gonna assume that's like drinking a potion in PvP in Dark Souls.
Oh my god. Ashes is gonna fucking honorable Dark Souls duel to Varen. Thanks to Jay's
You don't
fucking
pot.
Dark
You
Souls
don't pot.
issues.
That's bullshit.
You don't pot. You don't fucking pot. Ashes is gonna die tonight thanks to Jay's Dark Souls honor issues. Oh my god.
Look, there's something beautiful. Just like a quick little. There's something beautiful about a game that has no real rules, regulations, or settings for how PvP works, but people just collectively hold to a standard pretty universally. Like
Except
people
for those
break
that
it,
don't.
Yeah, there are a few that don't, but I mean,
There are enough that don't that it's a thing that you make fun of. Anyways,
Yeah.
so apologies, we went on a tangent. Back to what we were saying. Anything else?
Nope. Think that's it.
So you don't want to scroll?
No. I don't want to scroll. I want to do this.
You
My
don't
own.
want no
I
scroll?
swear, Jeremy, if we're in the middle, if that fight halfway through it, you're like, Tavern uses his bonus action to take a greater healing potion. I'm gonna be like, dishonor, dishonor.
Now I kind of hope he does it.
Yeah, you can scream dishonor you want as he chops you in half.
The fact that you think Tavaren's gonna need to potion against your ass.
Oof.
Well, here's the thing.
Oof.
If he doesn't, then I'm already fucked.
Questionable. Okay, so random taunting aside. Anything else for your breakfast situation before you all go about your daily business? No? Okay,
No, I
sounds
don't
good.
think so.
Yeah, I'm good.
Then you all ready break. Go about your daily business. Leaving, putting out at various times. There's a screech outside, right? As Matashtai's ride arrives yet again. Ezra, are you leaving off to study again this morning?
I've got some shopping to do first.
Okay, so Ezra heads off to shop. And then Ashes strolls outside down the onto the little porch outside the front of the Lifted Spirits, down the few steps, and then Ashes, your eyes go dark.
Like tunnel vision that I can't see, or
Starts
my
to go
eyes physically
foggy,
go dark?
and then you starts to go foggy. Your head starts to swim a little bit, and you black out. And you flutter your eyes, and you're sitting at a table in the yawning portal, about 10 feet away from the open maw of the well, and you have a tankard in your hand that is half finished, and you have two more sitting in front of you that are empty, and you are just staring daggers at the mouth of the well, and you feel this kind of like deep thudding in your chest, and every time you look away from the well, that thudding gets worse. But while you're looking at the entrance to Undermountain, it stays relatively calm. You realize after a few seconds You've been here for most of the day. Drawn back to the proximity of Undermountain.
Who's around? Is like Bonnie around?
Tavern's filled. I mean, not full to bursting or anything like that, because it's
somebody
about.
I
It's early
am
afternoon at this point.
acquainted with.
Yeah, you can flag someone down. You see Bonnie kind of like weaving through the.
Yeah.
Oh, you need another deer?
No, I've got a question.
Sure.
How long have I been here?
I came in early morning. You had a meal, sat, talked to yourself for a little while. A little strange, but you bunch seem to be that way. Had a couple ales. Well, you all right, dear? Give me a fetch your buyer.
No, I'm good. All right. Yeah, I just don't think I remember everything.
I mean, you were chatting to people as they came along. Are you sure? You're fine?
Yeah, sure. Another weird question. Was there any particular person I was talking to
No.
longer than anyone else?
No one spent any time with you. You just talked to the regulars around. And, I mean, we chatted 3 or 4 times already when I brought you your drinks and your meal.
Small talk.
Pretty much. You seemed a little less than, so I decided to leave you be.
Right. Concerning. All right. Well, I'm better now, I think. But
you hear this, and your attention is drawn to the bar, and you see Durnan is standing there, just idly doing the bartender, idly washing a mug type thing.
that's already clean.
Right? Like just looking busy.
I'll excuse myself from Bonnie, and I'll walk up to Durnan.
He sets that mug down. He turns around, and he reaches for a dark, amber-looking liquor on the wall behind him. And then he turns and pours some of it, just about a shot, into the tankard and pushes it slightly towards you. Losing a bit of time?
Yeah, you could say that. I was at the house this morning, walking around back, and here I am. What time is it?
It's mid-afternoon.
And I can't remember, does that happen a lot with people here? Do they...
Only those that spend too much time below.
Oh, so this is a thing.
Let's just say there's a reason I built this place and stuck around.
You are a wise man.
It's not always enough, but being this close usually suffices. Bad days, I find myself waking up down below.
Wow. And while I'm sitting here going back and forth with Durnan, I'll ping Zalara, be like, do you remember?
What are you talking about?
The time period between us being at Lifted Spirits to us right now. Do you remember?
Sure,
everything?
You decided that you wanted to go spend some time at the Yawning Portal. Nerves a little shot about tonight, I guess, and then, you know.
Okay. Well, I blacked out. I don't remember a damn thing.
What do you mean you blacked out? You were chit-chatting with me half the time.
I don't remember it.
Okay,
Something
that's
happened.
not good.
Right. Well, I mean, according to Durnan, apparently this is kind of happens with people who stay in Undermountain too long. Also, I then like actually clock that I have a drink in my hands this entire time. Did I even like this?
Are you asking Durnan, or are you asking
No,
Zalara?
I'm asking
or are you asking
Zalara.
yourself?
I guess myself too.
You seemed okay with it.
Fuck it, and I'll willingly try to clean off the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean it's just ale.
It's just
and you don't have that much left. It's pretty easy for you to. I say that to the king of constitution failures, but drinking a half an ale is not enough to warrant a constitution issue. So yeah, you just down it, and Durnan, takes the tankard from you and says, "It'll get worse the deeper you go, the longer you keep doing it. Just keep it in mind whether it's worth it in the long run."
Appreciate the warning.
Say what?
So I appreciate the warning. How? All right. I just need to clarify this because I need to separate player knowledge from character knowledge. I can't remember if Ashes knows that he and Mert traveled together into Undermountain. Is that Ash's knowledge? Or is that
I
J
think
knowledge?
that is kind of legend, right, or rumor. So that's knowledge, right?
If that's the case, then how does Mert cope with it?
He's in here every couple days, isn't he?
I guess so.
Most of the regulars you see around here, they stick around, don't they?
Yeah.
Either
true.
that, or they run so far away, trying to get away.
And I start looking for Obaya, like. Oh, well, I'm here. Might as well make the best of it.
Good luck.
And I guess I'll use the rest of my day to just talk with people. Maybe like actually schmooze up to the
So
people
you're
participate in the
basically
Deadpool.
you're basically reaching the point to where you would normally go sleep, so that you have the the rest to go do your stuff at the tip of the moon. Basically, your failure cost you this day.
Okay.
As the
I did not put the two things together. I had completely forgot about that failure, but
your failure cost you the day as the draw of the shadow of the will of Undermountain pulls you to it. And this is the first time the party has experienced this actually happen. So
Good to know.
and it got really close to it happening to multiple people, by the way.
Right?
Like I
When
was
we're all sitting
staring
at the
for a
table.
second. I was like, "Oh my god, are they all just gonna like go spend the day?" Fuck. Anyways, Moving along.
That's funny. All right.
So Ashes, you head back to the now within your wits about you. You head back to the Lifted Spirits or you could rest up here too if you wanted to do that. Either way, you initiate your long rest.
I'll pay the silver and go back home.
Sure. So, flip on over to Matashtai. Matashtai, you are picked up in the early morning by Mandius on Griffinback, and he takes you on a magic griffin ride
Do this to me, Jeremy.
the top of I gotta taunt you with it to the top of Mount Waterdeep and the peak top area where the Griffin Cavalry make their home. And as you touch down in the courtyard of the keep, there are your 5 fledgling students ready and waiting for your instruction. And there are another 6 adults standing off to the side that also seem to be just hanging out. You know?
Okay. I commence the training.
Commence the training. Okay, so what did we do last time? I think I asked you what you thought was going to be a good idea, and then you did something. Didn't you animal handling them?
Yeah, animal
Oh
handling
my
them.
god. All right, so once again, we will flip back to the concept that Matashtai, you are given kind of free reign here. Mandius drops you off and then suddenly disappears, and you are given free reign to instruct these fledglings kind of however you see fit. So how do you go about doing that? You can narrate the action, but in the end, I'm going to need some sort of die roll. So talk to me. What's up?
Today, we're going to focus on throws and disarming techniques
Ooh. Okay. Gotcha.
to try and mitigate combat as much as possible.
Sure. That sounds good. The tiefling, as you kind of get started and you're kind of like explaining what's going on, she's, you're still not teaching us how to punch anything.
Nope. No, I'm not.
I love it. Oh god, I love it. Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Should I just roll something?
What do you think you should roll to teach? Here, let me phrase it this way. As you start up the morning training for the fledglings, right? You start up with warm-up exercises and explanations of what you're going to be doing. The adults, the Griffin Cavalry members that are there and out of uniform, they start to limber up as well, and they participate in your instruction throughout the day.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sick.
So if this changes how you want to go about things, you are now providing instruction for both the fledglings and some Griffin Cavalry members, because they heard through the grapevine that someone knew his shit.
Shit, now I want to roll something good.
From the children.
You gotta tell me what you want to roll and why you think that's a good thing to roll in this situation. You gotta sell me on it.
Okay, well, since we're focusing on throws, we're going to have people focusing on how to position their bodies, pivoting and throwing people over their shoulders properly, and how to mitigate the damage when being thrown. Catching yourself,
Gotcha.
distributing your weight, not landing on your hands and knees and stuff that can hurt easily.
Halfway through this explanation, the tiefling, I her name. I freaking check her name. I want to stop
Mary
calling
Lou?
her the tiefling. No, it's like it's
Mary Lou.
something complicated. It is.
Sandra.
It's Zashida. So your fledglings are Nogu, Zashida, Pearl, Mord, and Hink. So Zashida is kind of like your heckler the entire time. She's got the big mouth,
Okay.
and you're like
Just a lot of
halfway
fire
through.
on them. I say the two best at training today will have a mock boxing session at the end.
Ooh, she's down. She's like super interested. She doesn't stop heckling you, but she's super into it, right? The halfway through, when you're talking about like, you know, what to do when you get thrown and how to land correctly, she's like you're going through my word, brain. You're going through the motions, right? You're actually like demoing and showing things off and stuff like that. And Zashida's like, if we get thrown from a griffin, aren't we basically dead?
Not if you land right, bitch.
I'd like to have Bones. Can we retcon that Bones is here as my junior drill sergeant?
Oh my god! Oh, I love it.
And then I
Oh
throw
my
a goblin
God.
really high in the air. No, I'm joking. Look, watch this one.
I tell her, yeah, if you fall from a griffin flying up in the sky, probably gonna die. But if you fall from a griffin on the ground when you're fighting, you're gonna want to land right, so you can keep fighting.
You also hear some grunts, right, from the Griffin Cavalry actual members, right? And one of them's like, don't forget, everything we learn on the ground first. You gotta walk before you can fly.
But yeah,
All right,
basically
sorry.
I was trying to get at is rolling in acrobatics.
Okay, yeah, sure. Right, okay. I'm gonna say we're gonna double up here, right? Because not only do you have the fledglings, right, but you also have this crew of Griffin Cavalry members. So I'm gonna say I want an acrobatics, because that's the actual stuff that you're demoing and teaching and showing. But I also want to take advantage, not that you've gotten anything yet, but let's see a persuasion check as well to see how do you go about this. And the acrobatics is going to be, before you roll anything, acrobatics is going to be a DC... Actually, I think what we'll do is we'll be... Acrobatics should be easy for you. That's going to be a DC 15, right?
Okay.
But so is the persuasion, right? The persuasion's going to be that eesh, might not get it, but let's see how it
Okay,
goes.
Here's acrobatics.
Uh-oh.
12.
Unfortunate.
What?
Just getting
Plus
all
9.
those bad rolls out.
Plus
All right.
9. Roll to
Remember you're training with
4.
Arshak.
No, roll to
Here we
3.
go.
Holy shit.
Here we go with the persuasion. Yeah, 12s all around.
12s all around. Okay. So it's not abject failure, right? Like, you don't just suddenly like start smacking the shit out of students and horribly embarrass yourself in front of the Griffin Cavalry members. But you don't have that astounding showing that you had yesterday, right? Whether it's just too many people now that you're having to demo things to, 11 instead of just the original 5 that it was yesterday, or whether it's the consistent heckling, or maybe it's just a little colder, or just, you know, lack of experience in doing this, right? You get the fundamentals across, you make a good impression, but you don't get that, oh, they will talk about the hand-to-hand instructor Matashtai for years to come, right? They go, like, at the end of it, the Griffin Cavalry members are all thankful. They, you know, they shake your hand or you know, thank you, like offer thanks for the instruction, and they don't do it in kind of like a, oh, we're only being polite way. They see that you are skilled and talented and that what you're teaching is good stuff, just maybe a little rough around the edges, right? It's a couple of the fledglings, Zashida in particular, that grow more bold in their heckling and in their opinions of your skills because they lack that experience to understand what your skill set actually is.
Eat some ass before I leave.
Right? You just be like, all right, fuck all y'all, in the dirt. Pop, 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 pop. But, so, that ends your training session. Again, knowledge imparted, just not... I want to make that clear. You didn't fail to teach them anything, but you failed to super impress them, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So Mandius comes back around towards the end of the morning and gives you a ride back on down. Gives you another purse, which I think was 15 gold, wasn't it?
That sounds about right, yes.
I believe it was 15 gold. Gives you another purse of 15 gold, and when he drops you off, he kind of gives you this, like, heard it was a rough day.
Yep, this one got away from me.
Ah.
But sometimes it's how it is.
Second day on the job. It'll happen. You're out, right?
Out? What do you mean?
I'm not picking you up tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, no. Unfortunately, fortunately, I won't be around. We're heading back down into the dungeon pretty soon.
You're doing your thing. I get it. All right. If you're interested, in the future, you know where to find me. Can't promise we'll have the work, because I don't know when Hlam is coming back, but, you know.
All right, sounds good.
Screeches away. All right. Mandius out. What happens with the rest of Matashtai Day?
Did Laryl ever respond to my missive?
You sent a missive, right. I forgot about that. What was your missive? Remind me.
Mostly just asking if I could get some of her time, because I was hoping to discuss the ring with her.
Ah, gotcha. Then, yeah, I think you would have gotten a correspondence in the morning that would have given you an afternoon time frame to pop in to Pirgaron's palace for a brief meeting, mind you, not like a hey, I'll have your whole afternoon type situation.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. Then I'm gonna head over and do that.
Okay. You are shown, you go to Pirgaron's palace, you state your business, you're shown into a couple of different locations, and you find yourself in a weird waiting room, and there's basically this moment where you can hear outside that there's some sort of big conversation, several people, a delegation or something like that, and then the door opens and Laryl steps in, and she's like, yeah, you've got 15 minutes. What do you need?
I'll be quick. Just wanted to stop by and get your opinion or your thoughts on this ring I found. When we defeated Xanathar, he was wearing it. From what I can understand from the people who have identified it, captures a soul when something dies wearing it. I think this ring might have Xanathar's soul in it. I don't know what to do with it. I thought maybe you would.
Okay. Laryl looks at you like, that's a lot to take in. Holds out her hand. You have the ring? Her eyes just burst forth with blue light. And there's this kind of like strange halo that begins to appear behind her, and her hair begins to drift up slightly. And it happens for about 4 seconds, and then it all just falls back down, everything goes back to normal, and she goes, This is most assuredly not Xanathar's soul. It is, however, the soul of a relatively powerful lich. Should probably not release this.
Alright. I guess, what do you recommend to do with it? Because
I would destroy it utterly.
Ring must be destroyed.
Okay. How do I destroy it? I don't know if poking it with my spear here is going to do it.
You don't. Severing or breaking the ring would just break the enchantment and release the soul.
Alright. So...
She flexes her hand, and you and her are both enveloped in this column of silver fire.
Oh, shit.
God.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's just this raging torrent all around you, all around her. It kind of like flaps your clothing a little bit. It feels like you're almost kind of like in a wind tunnel. And it is warm across your skin, but not in an uncomfortable way. If anything, it is almost it's almost kind of like a sunlit afternoon, right? It feels pleasant. But as this is happening, again, there's that kind of like halo behind Laerol, and her hair starts to drift up slightly, and the ring in the palm of her hand slowly begins to disintegrate, and you hear this wailing come from it, and with the wailing, there is this faint trail of black smoke that starts to rise up out of the section where the ring is disintegrating. But as it starts to rise up and it starts to fly away, it too is disintegrated in the silver fire. And a moment passes, and the ring in its entirety, along with the trickle of black smoke, is evaporated. And what's your passive perception?
17.
Yeah, she's not super secretive about it. You hear Laerol say under her breath, she says, "Goodbye, Averine."
Do we know who that is? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna make a note of that in case it comes up later.
I'm question mark.
Right? Averine? Question mark? And then there's, there's a moment where this all holds, and Laerol looks at you for a second. The ring disintegrated, the smoke dissipated, and the silvery column of fire still wraps the two of you. And there's a... Roll an insight check for me.
Oh boy, I got advantage on those.
12. Oh.
A
Uh-oh.
little bit better.
There's a brief shadow that passes across Laerol's eyes. And you realize in this moment she is considering destroying you. There is an air of killer instinct about her, and it passes in just a second, and then she releases the silver fire, and the warmth from your skin dissipates, and the kind of like slight breeze that was blowing your clothing around fades. And Laeral looks at you and she says, "You did well to bring me the ring, but I am not your..." She sighs and she says, "I should not be rude. You did a good thing. Good job. Continue in your efforts. I must go." And she turns on her heel and walks out the same door that she entered. And almost immediately afterwards, you hear again this loud talking as this group of people move away from the room that you were in.
Yeah, did she like legitimately, instead of a dark glow, you will have a queen?
Yeah, she definitely did. Okay, I get the fuck out of there.
Okay. All right.
And if I've got time, I'd hit up.
Yeah, so that's just like a singular social encounter. That's not a work section. Though I will point out I fucked up last time, so this is on me. I gave you too many work sessions on one of the previous days. We're not going to go back and fix it. We're just going to keep that in mind in the future. Your talismans do count as a work section. It's just when you're in the dungeon, you get to do that work section as a part of your long rest. So I screwed that up previously. So,
okay.
So that is on me. We're not gonna retcon anything. We're just gonna move forward with correct stuff going forward. So you still have a secondary work session for your day. What do you want to do with that?
So in that instance, it's either Mess Man or Talisman.
I mean, or something else that you come up with, but yeah, in theory.
Okay. I'm gonna go hit up the Mess Man since I'm up here.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, so the masked man is in his office as per normal, and you come in, and he is not alone. There are two young individuals, both probably in their late teens. They both have kind of like strangely cherubic faces, right? And they're both very kind of thin, wiry individuals, a little tall for how young they look. But as soon as you kind of like knock on the door, there's, you are told to enter, and they're quiet. They're just standing across the way from where the masked man is sitting at his desk, and he's like, "Oh, Matashtai, another lesson?"
Yeah, if you got time. You look like you're busy.
"Oh, no, not at all." And he waves his hand, and both of these cherubic-faced individuals, they kind of like, they give this kind of like, fine, like, look. And the masked man waves, snaps, and there's a kind of like a shimmering portal that appears behind them, and they both just step backwards and disappear into it.
That's creepy.
Pretty fancy. Didn't know you were a bit of a mage yourself.
Well, a bard keeps his secrets close to the chest.
Good to know. Good to know.
Shall we continue?
Let's do it.
So this time around, he actually brings out a couple of musical instruments, and he asks you, "How are you with music?"
Terrible, but I will try.
"Oh, save my poor ears. How about I just play, and you listen and do what I tell you?"
Okay.
We're going to do vocal exercises, and then we'll read some plays and do some other stuff. So, roll me your persuasion.
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 Persuade.
You cannot fail your freaking training with this man. What is that?
I'm destined.
Is that number 4 success?
Yeah, that's 4.
Nice. All right. You're pretty close. You're getting there. Almost halfway there. All right. So that is the end of your day, I believe. Anything else you want to wrap up?
No. I'd probably grab a beer at the yawning portal and head home.
Sounds good. Okay. We are going to go ahead and take our break here, and when we come back, we will finish out the rest of this day and see what other exciting stuff lies in store for us. We'll be back in just a few. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.